He is tasked to reach Yellow Spring Hospital within 3 minutes, warned of potential danger if he delays. Caution is advised. He senses a chilling reality among warmth and humidity, noting the cold lampposts. Standing in the dim light, he inhales the familiar scent of soil, trees, and moist air blending together. He reflects on the belief that this mysterious world was once the real world, finding the idea logical. Earlier, students gathered in the classroom, with one teasing another, calling him Little Che and Brother Che, while others lounged around. In the classroom, a student calls out to Jiang Che, while others are engaged in their activities, creating a lively yet chaotic atmosphere. In class, a student suggests to Jiang Che that his calm demeanor might help them pass the upcoming test. A student jokes that Jiang Che's charm won't guarantee success in the test, suggesting instead they should ask for his help. The students fall silent as one nervously reminds everyone of the principal's arrival, while others prepare for scrutiny. Jiang Che smiles, introducing himself as a traverser, reflecting that this new world feels almost the same as his previous one. Jiang Che, preparing for a new journey, hopes for good fortune as classmates suggest the existence of more than just reality. Jiang Che confidently states that a more significant, mysterious world lies beyond their reality. She advises the group to stay calm, mentioning the high safety level, as the timer shows 8:24. He assures the teacher of their success, while others remember the past teacher's confidence, and one student expresses a desperate need to survive. He contemplates the mysterious world that appeared, leading to speculation about a different realm, while sitting on the toilet. He reacts with surprise, questioning while observing the ominous, bloodied character with electrical sparks in its eyes. He looks up, shocked, as the terrifying, bloodied character approaches, revealing that mysteries in this world hold ranks. They stand victoriously atop defeated foes, warning that the strongest SSS-level mystery can destroy a city. In this mysterious world, a challenger returned with a forbidden item, Sly Stone, enabling personal adventures, as a countdown leads to a crucial decision. With determination, she urged her students to return before the resurrection countdown ends, announcing her own first entry into the mysterious world. She informed her students it was time to begin the countdown, starting from 3, ready to embark on an adventure. The students, focused, sat waiting as the countdown reached 2, anticipating the upcoming adventure. He pressed the button, officially opening the mysterious challenge as the countdown ended in excitement. Holding up the mysterious sign, he asked, "What?" while surrounded by the vivid forest. Jiang Che pointed at the glowing character information, puzzled by the 50 points of strange power, wondering why students usually had only 10. Jiang Che wondered if the 50 points of strange power were a special advantage for attractive individuals, noticing there were no items and one resurrection available. With a grin, he thought about the mission location for the challenge, confident he could reach Yellow Springs Hospital in 10 minutes. Walking through the eerie forest, he felt a chill, noticing a shadowy character behind him. He heard her softly say hello, and nervously replied, He pondered why he had encountered such a mysterious character, while she greeted him as handsome. She asked if he liked her, leaving him startled and confused by her boldness and the tension in the forest. He pulled something away from his face, intrigued by the unfolding situation. She brandished red scissors, asking if she was beautiful now, reveling in her transformation. He recognized the Kukase Kana, his face showing fear and disbelief as he pointed at her. He urged himself to stay calm, recalling the teacher's explanation about the girl with a gaping mouth, thinking he needed to remember more. He thought to himself, "Damn, I forgot." As sweat formed on his forehead, recalling something important. She leaned close with a grin, asking if she appeared beautiful, her sharp teeth glinting. He shouted for his father, calling out "Abba," repeatedly, his excitement evident. He playfully shouted "Abba," repeatedly, while she looked back, intrigued by his excitement. With a grin, he shouted a farewell, while she looked on in surprise, questioning his sudden departure. He boasted about his strange power, claiming he could cover 100 meters in 10 seconds, challenging anyone to catch him. She asked confidently if she was beautiful. He, startled, responded with surprise as they hurried past each other. In the forest, she questioned her beauty, and he, confused, replied that he didn't understand Japanese, expressing frustration. She wielded a red weapon with a grin, demanding to know if he found her beautiful. He raised his hand in disbelief. He raised his hand, pleading for Kukase-kana to slow down, caught in fear and urgency. He flipped through the air as his friends watched in shock, while a mysterious character in red stood silently in the background. He gave a thumbs up and asked others if he was handsome, smiling against a backdrop of falling droplets. With a twisted grin, he exclaimed that the guy was sick, questioning his own beauty with enthusiasm. Wide-eyed and terrified, he fled in panic while she shouted, questioning his sanity for not stopping. With curiosity, he marveled at the mysterious character, realizing she looked stunning in high heels. He stood in awe as she approached, her red dress accentuating her figure, and she playfully asked if she was beautiful. He questioned her about repeating the same sentence, showing clear irritation. She cast a red spell in the dark forest, suspecting he was being evasive on purpose. With a smirk, she decided he should endure some pain, justifying the use of forbidden powers for her performance. She pointed at the fiery character, contemplating its power as the scene's intensity increased. He questioned his fate, wondering if this was his end as energy crackled around him. As a threat loomed, he prepared for battle, realizing the system was activated to confront the danger. She was frustrated that something blocked her attack, her expression showing determination and surprise. He faced a swirling vortex, pondering how deception and solitude drove her to seek revenge, yet secretly desiring affection. In shock, he stared wide-eyed at the mysterious sight, caught between disbelief and curiosity, wondering about its meaning. With a mischievous grin, he announced the arrival of the Gold Fortune Traverser, excitement in his eyes as he spoke to his friend. She declared her intent to catch the ugly monsters that day, while he questioned her bold statement. He mocked the situation with a sly grin, hinting that consequences would disappear once explanations were given. In disbelief, he shouted about the broken promise of the system, feeling betrayed as a dark presence whispered around him. He searched for his heritage sword and dragon, complaining about the system that offered only random hints, while a mysterious woman watched. Indignantly, she questioned how he dared to tease her, her mysterious aura enhancing her beauty. She reflected that the men who flirt most are the ones she despises. He nervously wondered if she would verbally attack him next, feeling overwhelmed. Confidently, she stood in a red dress, asking if she was who he thought, her dark eyes intense. With a menacing grin, she hesitated, whispering, "I," as shadows surrounded her. With a twisted smile, she expressed delight as vibrant lights danced, embodying chaotic beauty. She posed gracefully in a red dress, exuding confidence and charm as their hands intertwined intimately. He held her close with an intense gaze, their connection undeniable in the forest's depths, while she appeared both vulnerable and alluring. With a teasing smile, he leaned closer, leaving her questioning his intentions as she nervously stammered about his sudden approach. In class, the teacher said understanding leads to realization, while the system suggested deception and loneliness filled her heart, longing for connection. She pondered the importance of connection, realizing she missed affection and warmth, urging the system not to deceive her about life's true priorities. He urged her to listen, reflecting on when love was in front of him, which he failed to appreciate. He wished for another chance to value it. He looked at her nervously, questioning why she spoke to him in that manner, while she watched him with an expression open to interpretation. He inquired if she believed in love at first sight, but she laughed in response, leaving him surprised and flustered. He kissed her suddenly, leaving her shocked and confused, as surprise filled the atmosphere marked by bold exclamations around them. He moved closer, capturing her attention, as she blushed and stammered in shock. The moment was intense, overwhelming with surprise. As their lips met, warmth surged through her cheeks, blushing deeply from the kiss's intensity. Their lips connected in a gentle kiss, and warmth filled her as her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. He exclaimed in shock, surprised, while she gazed back, confused and vulnerable. Startled, he yelled, while she stood bewildered, questioning with a perplexed expression. She called him a bastard in horror, clutching her head in despair, her red eyes wide with shock. He thought, aside from the metallic taste of blood, a lingering sweetness remained, his cheeks slightly flushed. He grabbed her arms suddenly, the moonlight reflecting off her red dress, tension rising as they stood under shadowy trees. She introduced herself as Xiao Lei, excitedly, her hands clenched in enthusiasm, a diamond tiara shimmering above her. She shouted angrily, insisting he wait for her revenge, declaring he would be held responsible as she stormed off, her red dress trailing. He stood silently in the twilight, contemplating something important, the ellipsis suggesting deep thoughts and unresolved feelings. He expressed excitement, sharing that Kukase-kana appreciates flavor. He reviewed the message about his hidden mission success, detailing Kukase-kana and listing rewards like forbidden items and bloody scissors. He didn't expect forbidden items initially, noting the scissors' low grade but valuing them at 100,000 points, acknowledging their connection to Kukase-kana. He smiled confidently, saying, "All right," while holding a sharp, red object, ready for the upcoming challenge. He declared that the protagonist's aura was within him, holding the sharp red object and prepared for his task at Yellow Spring Hospital. Outside Yellow Spring Hospital, he stood determined as a hint highlighted the importance of a good nurse-patient relationship, warning about angry patient dangers. He called out in the eerie hospital lobby, searching for anyone present, feeling unease in the deserted space. He looked up in surprise at the towering character in red heels, questioning her presence. She addressed the newcomers with confidence, dressed in a revealing nurse outfit, emphasizing her figure with a red skirt and stylish heels. She informed him he was responsible for 4 patients and must return at night to get paid, noting the female patient in room 401 needed special services. He asked if anyone else was available, and she assured him that he would receive attention after her shift. She mentioned a recent death, while another character criticized something as trashy yet enjoyable. She wore a striking red and white outfit, looking at someone with a teasing smile. He was shocked at the mention of death, while she left him pondering resurrection. He entered a dim room, scanning the area, while a notebook lay untouched on the counter. He questioned the absence of a nurse, looking at the empty reception desk in the eerie hospital environment. He observed 8 rooms on the floor, relieved to find only 4 occupied, anticipating a lighter workload. He considered the mission a level E task, not too challenging, and decided to start with room 401. He looked at the blood-stained door marked 401, contemplating the level E mission with mixed emotions. He encouraged everyone to stay calm, insisting it wasn't as hard as it seemed, though visibly stressed. He read the system hint warning about the danger of entering the room, which mentioned the risk of being hit by a human head. Reaching for a glowing red crystal, he remarked on the mysterious world, smirking. He grinned, intrigued by the idea of smashing someone's head for fun, and kicked down the door. He turned in shock to see a menacing figure with wild hair and glowing green eyes, inducing fear. Gripping a red weapon, he faced the swirling darkness as ominous shadows approached, ready to fight back. In Chapter 94, he stood with a red weapon as others in striped pajamas watched in shock while dark tendrils surrounded him. He stood tense and wide-eyed as she approached in striped pajamas, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty. She clutched a teddy bear and stood in striped pajamas, gazing ahead with wide eyes, creating an eerie scene. He smirked and gestured playfully, pondering the noise while colorful swirls surrounded him. She frowned at the guy who stabbed someone with scissors, while he remarked on the strange power of the scissors. A new nurse introduced himself, mentioning he knew about specific service requests from the head nurse. Meanwhile, someone identified themselves as Brother Nurse with some anxiety. He crouched beside the character, smirking and teasing about retrieving the requested scissors, his tone slightly menacing. He shivered while reading a system hint, hearing a threatening voice declare that once the object was removed from its head, it would consume him. With blood in her hair and a desperate look, she called her brothers, urging them to help her pull something out. A fierce expression on his face, he struck forcefully, causing blood to splatter as if engaged in a fierce battle, instructing to read further on a specific site. Panic overtook him as he screamed loudly, both characters horrified by the gruesome and bloody scene. He smirked with blood on his face, casually apologizing, as an ominous atmosphere surrounded him. With a sly grin, blood streaked across his face, he commented on the unexpected fragility of her head. Holding a crimson blade with a wicked smile, he asked if she required special services, hinting at impending terror. Looking shocked, he exclaimed that they didn't need any services, while she appeared terrified beside him. She insisted she could heal herself, refusing his assistance, while he pointed towards room 402, confused. He furrowed his brow, feeling the pressure as the announcement for room 402 instructed calling the nurse. He asked if there were other tasks. He thought he could head home from work at 6 after completing the head nurse's assignment. He reached for the door handle, contemplating the lack of a system hint, relieved by the absence of major issues. He asked with a sly smile about the patient in bed number 3, as shadows surrounded him. She screamed in fear as trails of blood marked her path, her terror evident. He panicked, questioning the events, while she, covered in blood, struggled in fear as ominous sounds echoed. She mentioned the boy's shyness, asking if he could help calm him, while he reached out to her. Hanging upside down in striped pajamas, she playfully announced his arrival, while another character asked if he could manage the issue alone. Hanging upside down in striped pajamas, he questioned her usefulness as a nurse if they could resolve it themselves. He insists her reasoning is valid, expressing a desire to observe the outcome by allowing him to act, clarifying he is not his grandmother. The character advises his little brother not to cry, indicating a strained nurse-patient relationship and questioning the peculiar obsession with cannibalism. He declares his hunger, threatening humorously to eat his brother if the story fails to impress him, blending humor with menace. Tension is noted as he observes his opponent's calm demeanor, expressing a mix of frustration and disbelief. He smirks, promising to share a ghost story, starting with a tale about 4 babies with antennae, sparking curiosity. Frustrated, he screams about the poor story, admitting he couldn't sleep due to hunger. He glares at his opponent, gripping the red ribbon tightly, while the other, smug and bloodied, prepares for conflict. He reprimands his opponent about manners, insisting interruptions are rude, while holding the red ribbon firmly. He comments on witnessing Wang Wei being consumed by his patient, frustrated about working with half a body for another week. He sighs, annoyed by having to listen to ghost stories, while his classmates, oblivious to his feelings, continue their chatter nearby. She stood quietly in a revealing outfit with a serious look, while the boys nearby exchanged intrigued glances. He noticed the head nurse and acknowledged her effort with a kind smile as she held a box. She firmly declared no, her movement cutting through the air surrounded by crimson splashes, showing her determination. They were shocked, witnessing a brutal scene with the injured man on the ground, while someone exclaimed in awe. She vented her frustration about unfinished tasks and patient complaints, feeling overwhelmed by useless things around her. She told him about his salary based on today's performance while he and another character listened with interest. He mentioned that vending machines were on every floor, allowing him to buy food and drinks with his points. The nurses headed to their floor's waiting area for the night, while a character named Janitor was instructed to follow, as his bedroom was on the ground floor. She warned again, her mysterious expression showing a mix of seriousness and charm. She advised him to go to bed when it's dark and not to open his eyes even if something happens, stressing the need to face risks alone. She found a paper bag and a bottle in a well-lit compartment, hinting at secrets that piqued her interest. He felt sweat on his forehead, contemplating how 100 coins barely sufficed for food and water while he munched on chips. Intrigued, he tilted his head and whispered a thoughtful as he reflected on the situation. He noticed the vending machine prices and decided that resting before the 6:30 gathering was a better choice. In a misty landscape, a towering structure stood against the stormy sky as he prepared to confront upcoming challenges. In the eerie mist, he stood before the entrance labeled Heaven Prison, readying himself for what awaited him. He wondered aloud about his recurring dreams of this place, gazing thoughtfully at the gates behind him. With frustration, he declared he could open the mysterious gate, standing determined as fog swirled around him. He expressed his irritation, wishing to enter the place while lying casually and insisting on continuing to sleep. Half awake in bed, he wished to ignore distractions and return to his peaceful slumber. Suspended in the air, she watches him, while he lies in bed, gripped by fear. He thinks about the scary night, as a friend laughs and jokes about his grandmother nagging. Another asks about the fewer people around. A girl calls to Jiang Che, motioning with her hand. He turns and asks, yes. A girl with long hair nervously asks if he can lend her 50 sly coins, looking anxious yet hopeful. The girl with long hair mentions that everyone felt odd and scared the previous night, while a boy wonders if Jiang Chi found a treasure. She mentions her hunger, saying she only has 5 coins left after buying water. He jokingly asks if she wants to borrow money from him. She asks for money, offering to do anything he wants in return. He points out that with 7 working days, she can only earn 700 coins. She questions why the flashlight costs 500 coins, feeling it's too much. She confidently mentions there are 5 losers, reminding him she warned against opening his eyes after dark. Playfully, she encourages him to continue today's tasks. He stands outside room 403, deep in thought, uncertain about his next move as shadows surround him. He reflects on his assignment to deliver medicine to a patient in room 403, anxiety evident on his face as shadows surround him. He discusses the patient in room 403, revealing that nurses were consumed by patients in rooms 403 and 404, adding a sense of fear. He expresses uncertainty about the patients in room 403, hoping there's some food left, recalling a past incident where a nurse's arm was consumed. He views the warning, recalling that even a dog wouldn't take bad medicine mixed with blood or coffee, deciding to be cautious around the patients. She reads intently while he announces his arrival with the orders, creating anticipation. She holds a pack of instant coffee, questioning why someone wouldn't take it themselves, while he serves her, urging her to enjoy it. She savors her icy coffee, her long red hair cascading, fully immersed in the rich flavor. She notices a scent, her sharp gaze revealing worry and curiosity, captivated by what lies ahead. She lifts a large glass to her lips, drinking eagerly, overwhelmed by delight and thirst. He stares blankly, his face drenched in rain, mouth slightly agape, as droplets cascade around him. She commented on the delicious taste while sitting with a cup beside her, wearing a stylish outfit. He mentioned his enjoyment of the taste and handed over cash, asking for a cup of coffee daily, which she acknowledged. He held a stack of cash and appeared contemplative, preparing to say something important. He smiled with tears in his eyes, stating it was a gift from a wealthy lady while holding the cash. She listed items from the vending machine, 2 packs of French fries, a bottle of mineral water, and a box of biscuits. He noticed he had received a special item, a flashlight, along with a challenge mission named Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night. He questioned the concept of a challenge mission upon noticing a notification for Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night. She called for Jiang Che's help, telling him a monster was right behind her. She promised to do anything if he saved her, urgency in her voice as shadows loomed behind her. She exclaimed in surprise as he charged towards her, determination in his eyes. She fell to the ground, grasping her red scarf, urgency evident in her actions. Jiang Che, confused, asked a classmate about their relationship. The classmate dismissed the inquiry, advising him not to pretend. Confidently, he pointed at his opponent, asserting that his intelligence allowed him to see through the trick. She pointed out a mole on Li Xiaoxiao's left breast, reminding everyone to remain professional. He remarked on her being an F-rank mystery, expressing frustration with training timing yet excited about the upcoming fight. Laughing maniacally, she revealed her true identity, taunting him for seeing through her disguise while wielding a weapon. She declared he would become her prey tonight, swinging a weapon as he reacted to her aggressive stance. With a twisted expression, red markings, and desperation, he shouted, urging someone to stop, fear gripping him. Blood splattered as he fiercely warned his opponent about the consequences of speaking too soon, urging quick action. He held several sealed envelopes, ready to deliver an important message, determination clear in his grip. He expressed gratitude to the nurse for her praise, holding a stack of envelopes, and she encouraged him to continue. A student voiced frustration over Jiang Che's credit and extra coins without reading the manual, while another questioned who he would team up with. Li Jiahao, the class president, urged his classmates to stay calm as he had something important to share since it was still early in the stage. Li Jiahao addressed his classmates, pointing out that only a few students were present on the second day. He emphasized that their survival relied on teamwork, asserting that money, fame, and power were crucial for a better future. A character, holding a sword, explained it wasn't forbidden but could harm mysterious creatures, suggesting they first figure out how to collect more sky coins. He reflected that the character might seek the head nurse's praise and free coins, but another dismissed the idea, claiming disinterest. Jiang Che, appearing confident, prepared to leave but suggested collaborating when speaking to the class president. Jiang Che raised his hand, telling the class president to meet him on the 7th floor if protection was needed, assuring her of his sword. He sat on the bed, contemplating a challenge called Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night, with a flashlight in hand, ready to illuminate his nighttime quest. he remembered the nurse's warning about not opening his eyes at night. With forbidden items and a system now in play, he wondered if there was truly a reason to stay. Lying in bed, he pondered the challenge ahead. Completing the main quest would secure his college admission, but extra missions could significantly boost his rank. Cooperation complexities crossed his mind. Though not his preferred choice, he decided on a nap, curious about the night's possibilities. He gazed intently, contemplating something important, and finally murmured, "Well." The starry night sky stretched behind him. Sleep nearly claimed him as he shifted restlessly in his seat, surrounded by a dark atmosphere hinting at fatigue. He looked confused and worried, questioning if he was in an inpatient room, sweat forming on his forehead. Feeling lost, he sat on the floor, eyes wide with fear, shadows looming in the dim room. Confused, he questioned the place, wondering if the hospital building was truly like this, worry etched on his face. A flashlight in hand, he sensed ominous danger, thinking this time was more perilous than expected. Holding the flashlight, he felt danger as eerie shadows loomed, questioning the situation with a startled, "Huh?" in the dark. He wonders aloud if something waits outside the door, sweat beading on his forehead. Jiang Che urgently calls for the door to be opened, feeling pursued as he turns to face the approaching threat. He urgently calls for someone to open the door, asking if it's Luo Mengwei, who is usually quiet, while sensing the threat drawing near. Jiang Che worries about not opening the door, unsure of the danger lurking outside, while reminding himself of their chance to resurrect. Desperately, the character pleads for the door to be opened, as a shadowy figure silently looms behind. Another character declares hatred towards Jiang Chen, their eyes glowing ominously, while a voice warns, "Go to hell." He remarks with disappointment that the thing is gone, as a bloody mark illuminates the dark corner. Frustration shows on his face as he questions why no one came to save him, while shadows loom ominously around. With wide eyes and fury, he exclaims disbelief at the creature's sudden appearance, wondering how it entered. Rage fills his eyes as he shouts hatred at the creature, questioning their years of collaboration while wielding a glowing device. With determination, he used a flashlight to illuminate the dark space, confronting the creature on the ground with a mix of courage and fear. He reflected on the flashlight, considering his predicament, and realized the ghost could enter directly but chose to knock, suggesting a past life. Feeling puzzled, he heard a woman's cry and noticed the mission clue titled, "Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night," realizing his progress was only 10%. With determination, he thought about the high challenge completion rate and realized he needed to find the crying woman to boost his progress. Desperately, he realized he had only 2 hours and 47 minutes left, aware the timer was running out as the system hadn't triggered anything. He smiled contentedly in bed, thinking he could just sleep until tomorrow, surrounded by stars above. He trembled nervously, recalling someone staying up late, causing a ruckus and crying loudly. The sister asked if he knew what happened. Her intense gaze, framed by red hair, conveyed shock and determination as she confronted the mysterious shadow before her. He advised her to ignore it, while she listened intently, her red hair cascading down as tension filled the air. She fiercely warned him they would be killed by the head nurse if they didn't heed her words, while he implored her to let the matter go. He adjusted his shirt, sweat forming on his brow, unable to speak due to the tension. He felt concerned when he opened the door, thinking the matter involved the head nurse, while deciding to complete his task and investigate further. He considered his next move, realizing today's task involved finding the patient in room 404 on the 8th floor, as a shadow whispered behind him. He dodged quickly, red energy swirling around him, preparing for a confrontation with the looming threat. He shouted in surprise upon recognizing his brother, Che, while another character commented on a reflexive action, adding to the confusion. He reminded his brother Che about his task on the 8th floor, recalling how Xiao Jun disappeared while trying to relieve himself. Fu, with a puzzled look, sought clarification, her sharp gaze showing curiosity. He pleaded with brother Che, expressing disappointment about Xiao Jun quitting, and hoped for assistance one last time. He smirked with confidence, assuring that he would trust the words spoken and make his best effort. A sign labeled "Men's Restroom" stood above as a mischievous voice taunted, reminding him of his purpose there. Sitting on the toilet, he considers that the system has absorbed too many TV series, surrounded by a dim, tiled restroom. He examines the colored papers hesitantly and hears a voice addressing him, asking who he is. He eagerly inquires if the visitor wants red, yellow, or white paper, while a startled character recoils. He exclaims in shock upon realizing the eerie character on the ground is using his own phrase against him. He coughs violently, recognizing his earlier mistake about their dining habits, while angrily scolding his brother about the high cremation costs. He clutches a bundle of money, pleading desperately with his brother for freedom from his grasp. He expresses gratitude for having a friend, while another character, uncertain, admits not knowing Xiao Jun well. He appears surprised and anxious, his features exaggerated, as if taken aback by something unexpected. He looks surprised and frustrated, demanding to know if anyone is aware of the patient's whereabouts in room 404. He insists the missing person is in the ladies' room next door, pleading for forgiveness as anxiety fills the air. He sat in the restroom, holding a magazine, contemplating the task of finding the patient in room 404. He stood frustrated, reading a system hint questioning his qualifications, warning a little devil not to interfere as he concentrated on his book. Standing in the restroom, he casually asked if anyone wanted Maotai, a famous Chinese liquor. He reached for a canister, startled by something on the floor, while chaos ensued around him. She shouted while brushing her teeth with vigor, holding a canister in one hand, fully immersed in her morning routine. She playfully asked her big brother about the noise disturbing her sleep, while he pondered the absurd price of wine, feeling exasperated. She questioned him about the wine, while he promised to share some from his own collection with his big brother. He warned her not to pursue the matter further, mentioning the head nurse's potential wrath, but teased that he might share more if she was truly curious. He suggested she go upstairs and take a look, his expression mixing curiosity with caution, as clouds darkened overhead. He pointed to the ominous sky, urging her to look, while unease loomed as dark clouds gathered around them. He nervously observes the dark sky, questioning the seemingly ordinary hospital roof he stands upon, hinting at deeper mysteries. He sighed, pondering if the red sky represented the entire mysterious world or merely a fragment, unable to recall the path he had previously walked. He dismissed distractions, focusing on the clue ahead, noting the challenge mission could end his journey if he failed, but he had a backup plan for night. Surprised, she furrows her brow, caught off guard by the unexpected revelation, her expression showing a mix of confusion and curiosity. He turns his head, puzzled and curious, noticing a mysterious object glowing faintly in the dimly lit, abandoned area, and asks, "What's that?" He questions the quality of the phone while leaning against a rooftop, feeling uneasy as he faces the ominous sky. He celebrates acquiring a special item, exclaiming about increasing his completion progress to 50%, feeling triumphant and eager. He holds a pen with a smirk, believing it's a key item. Excitedly, he thinks about his luck. He looks intrigued, holding a pen as a mysterious swirl appears, revealing a system hint about hidden secrets and the consequences of peeking into others' lives. He stands defiantly amid dark, ominous skies, his gaze fixed upward as the word blood looms threateningly, hinting at a terrifying fate. He senses a strong aura, understanding it's a mystery beyond F rank. Concerned, he knows he can manage F rank mysteries but not higher ones. Feeling tense, he approaches the nurse, who questions his presence, her attire and expression showing her authority. Nervously, he scratches his head and greets the head nurse, explaining he's just taking a break. With a stern look, she asks if he's avoiding his tasks, her concern indicating her high expectations. Determined, he insists he's fulfilling his duties, having returned the patient from room 404, while she mentions needing fresh air due to the room's smell. He realizes he can't win against her without full strength, contemplating his next move and deciding he has one chance to regain power. She gives him a cold stare, commanding him to leave. Frustrated, he curses, realizing if they hadn't seen him with the sword, they wouldn't have lost money. As class president, he insists on recovering their coins. He learns they've seen him with a sword, while another dismisses him, attributing his earlier success to luck, not skill. Reflecting on the class president's actions, he realizes he missed a chance to exploit his classmates' naivete. Frustrated, he sat on the bed, struggling with his phone that wouldn't turn on, surrounded by water bottles and a small plant. He pondered a hidden secret in the dark, questioning if his phone could only be used at night, holding it thoughtfully. At 1930, he confidently activated his device, claiming expertise at predicting outcomes, a mischievous smile spreading as he observed the screen. He stared in surprise at his phone, realizing there was only one video available, confusion evident on his face. Sitting on the edge of his bed, he stared at his phone in disbelief, puzzled by the solitary video available. With a manic grin, he held his phone, a disturbing video lighting up his face, engulfed in glitchy colors. Wide-eyed and sweating, he stared at his phone, shocked to see his own face on the screen, questioning, "That's me?" With a sinister grin, he held a bloody knife, exclaiming his intent to slice with wicked excitement, eyes gleaming dangerously. Startled, he stared at his phone, a small cut on his face suggesting recent danger, while red splatters hinted at something sinister. Surprised, he exclaimed about the synchronization's unexpected effect on him, eyes gleaming with intrigue as digital patterns swirled around. He shouted for them to stop, frustration clear, while the other character grinned menacingly, gripping a device with intensity. He identified the powerful flashlight that illuminated the darkness. Suddenly, he suggested using a flashlight as a solution. He raised the flashlight, shouting as its beam sliced through the dark, revealing hidden dangers. Panicking, he yelled to stop and waved the flashlight, the bright light exposing ominous shapes and crimson shadows. In panic, he sensed danger and commanded someone to turn off the device, with blood-like streaks surrounding the phone. He exclaimed that the situation was dangerous and felt relieved that the flashlight was effective against the mystery. He realized the phone on the bed was crucial, enhancing progress by 30%, but also noted its potential danger. He found the phone on the bed and considered if the 27-second video could be the original one, feeling both excited and cautious. Holding his phone tightly, he felt alarmed as a distressed girl pleaded for freedom, while a sinister voice mocked her. He was amused, saying she was strong enough, while she protested not to be touched. In a moment of tension, she screams as movement blurs around her, capturing her fear and urgency. He questions her about wanting to drink again, despite his kindness, and warns her to be honest or face consequences. With a sly smile, she points to the mole near her mouth, inviting intrigue. He examines a photo of a girl, questioning if she is the younger version of the head nurse, while an enigmatic character stands beside her. Frustrated, he checks his device, demanding to know why the task progress hasn't increased and wonders if any information is missing. He frantically checks his device, noting countdowns of 10, 22, and 14 seconds, feeling the pressure of time. He exclaims with excitement, having found room 1401, while the countdown shows 17 seconds left. He smirks confidently, noting a 60% progress on the challenge task, sorrowful cry of the bloody night, believing higher progress leads to greater truths. He observes that progress has reached 60% on the challenge task and wonders what will happen next as he stands before a door marked 14. Feeling exhausted, he complains about his fatigue while holding a flashlight, running down the stairs, having been warned by the system that taking the elevator was dangerous. He pondered if room 1401 was on the 14th floor as he stood before the elevator. Reaching for the elevator button, he heard high heels and wondered if someone was coming. Standing near the door, he heard urgent whispers and decided to find the source. She confidently walked in red heels down the corridor, asking aloud if the head nurse was nearby. The female nurse, in a blood-stained uniform with a menacing look, held her weapon tightly. Observing this, he noted she was indeed a nurse. A male character was startled as he watched the blood-stained nurse in a tight outfit, her posture both intriguing and unsettling him. Worried, he thought to himself that he was lucky not to get caught, his sweaty forehead hinting at his anxiety. Surprised, he wondered aloud when another female nurse had arrived, his face showing confusion and concern, with deeper emotions in his eyes. He cautiously moved through the dark, calling for his older brother while eerie figures whispered, "Let's play." Fearful, he watched ominous eyes appear behind him, as an eerie voice invited him to join their sinister game. He clutches the flashlight tightly, surrounded by creeping shadows, feeling tension rise. He asks, "What is this?" as darkness surrounds him. Startled, he realizes she found him and calls him an evil insect, noticing her blood-stained clothes. He demands to know if she can afford to cheat in this dire situation, seeing her distressed appearance. She lies bloodied on the ground while ominous whispers highlight her dire situation. He realizes the flashlight is useless against her, as a bloodied character looms nearby. Running frantically up the stairs, he questions why they enjoy chasing people, with a figure lurking behind. He narrowly avoids a knife attack from the character behind him, gripping his flashlight tightly. Lying on the ground, he reassures himself this is just a gamble, looking towards the stairs. He stumbles backward as the door swings open, casting eerie shadows, with "startle" above. She lies on the ground, bloodied and lifeless, while he observes in shock, the word "stop" hanging above, increasing the tension. He stands frozen, staring at the doorway where a long-haired character appears, a whisper breaking the silence. He reflects on his correct intuition, warning that people will run back if faced with the situation. He advises a quick escape, as the nurse's speed will catch them. He realizes the scream is fear-driven, noting that frightened patients in the inpatient building will be affected, concluding the source of her crying is the roof. He feels tense, sweat forming on his forehead, questioning the identity of the mysterious character. Startled, she sobs, questioning the mysterious character, asking why everyone is scared and if she made a mistake. Barefoot and vulnerable, she feels the chill as he watches her, creating a tense moment. He kneels before her, acknowledging, "Your name is Xiao, right? Good name." She hesitates to respond. She stands with wide eyes, surprised, as he declares that he is there to play with her. He asks if she is happy, and she confirms with a bright smile that she is very happy. He asked if Xiao Xiao could join him, and she eagerly agreed to follow him anywhere. He thought about her innocence while she cheerfully held snacks, but worried because her mother was missing and she was barefoot. They walked down a dim hallway together, the female nurse was absent, and shadows surrounded them. He stopped in front of a door with a shadowy silhouette, contemplating the next move as the message directed him to room 1401 for more information. He opened the door to a dark, ominous space smeared with blood, an unsettling atmosphere surrounding them. She winced, holding her cheek where he had playfully pinched her, while carrying a box of food, the mood light and teasing. He gently placed a hand on her head, and she asked her brother what was wrong, clutching a box of food tightly. He covered little Zhao's eyes, urging her not to look, while she held a lollipop and candy, appearing curious yet hesitant. He looked around in shock, noting the room's filthy condition and wondering how it had become so dirty. He hung on the cross, a sinister character in a lab coat, surrounded by a dark, chaotic atmosphere with crimson shadows looming. He noticed blood dripping from above, appearing pale and haunted. He looked through the door, tense, thinking it was too horrifying to be a game. He hung there, panicking as a woman in a blood-stained outfit approached with a glistening knife, wondering if she was the ghost nurse he had seen before. He coughed, feeling guilty, while a masked woman with a knife savored the moment. He shouted, "No," in panic. Seeing the room number, he doubted if it was truly 1401, as his brother clutched him, horrified by the bloody scene. He stood amidst chaos, his expression dark and determined, wearing a mask that obscured his face, holding a bloodied arm intently. He peered through the cracked door urgently as a voice inside pleaded for help, creating tension in the dimly lit space. She cried for help, drenched in blood, swinging a red sword with a chilling smile. A character peeked through the door, cursing in frustration, the atmosphere tense and uneasy. At the doorway, he exclaimed in shock about the lifeless body, questioning if the person was truly dead. He admitted his mistake, pleading for freedom while questioning how it was possible. He questioned her seriousness about rearranging the scene, promising never to repeat his mistake. She grinned, blood splattered, brandishing a weapon, her mischievous laugh resounding. A simple, hee-hee, was her response. Blood splattered as a character, panicked and desperate, screamed for mercy, pleading they were wrong, as the clock ticked ominously. Feeling unwell, she called for her brother, who gently covered her eyes, as she expressed a desire to return. He urged her to keep her eyes closed, preparing to lead her back, showing a mix of excitement and care. He guided her through the doorway, concerned, whispering a question about their destination. She asked if she could open her eyes, and he agreed, offering a colorful heart-shaped candy. She asked if the colorful lollipop was for her, and he confirmed, asking if she liked it. She exclaimed her love for the colorful lollipop, expressing her fondness, while he smiled at her excitement. She inquired if her brother would visit to play again, holding a colorful heart-shaped lollipop, her eyes hopeful. He reassured her with a smile that they would meet again soon, and she responded with an enthusiastic, "Okay." Above a progress bar, a mysterious symbol indicated 70% completion, with challenge missions titled, Crying Little Girl and Sorrow of the Bloody Night, calling the characters. He stated that the challenge task was only 70% complete, with a few steps remaining. As he descended the stairs, he reflected on recommendations to prestigious universities and bonuses for completing the challenge, reaching 1,000,000. Despite transmigrating, his background and family remained unchanged from his previous life. He thought about how his parents disappeared 10 years ago, leaving his sister to work hard for him, unaware of her struggles. He resolved to finish a challenging mission, believing it would secure a better future for his sister. He smiled mischievously. He turned to Jiang Che, who stood with a countdown timer at 2:13, flashlight in hand, ready for action. Li Jiahao successfully obtained 500 sly coins, indicating he triggered a challenge mission, with a countdown timer at 2 hours 13 minutes and 44 seconds. He scowled, addressing someone with surprise, noting they had the same clue and warned them not to interfere. He advised someone not to leave, showing a lack of concern for their potential fate. Xiao Xiao returned to the roof, seeking danger on the 14th floor. He descended the stairs calmly, while another person urged him not to face the danger alone, stressing the importance of rewards from the challenge mission. He expressed frustration, questioning the mission's requirement to administer a forced injection to the patient, clearly troubled by the situation. A girl voiced her concern about the mysterious world and the task's difficulty, while another reassured her about the level adjustment for their next class. He gravely noted they had already killed 13 people, escalating the conversation's tension. She highlighted that the 13 who died did so after Yi Qingyao made a pact with a spirit, emphasizing the survivor was the one who made the contract. She expressed her exhaustion and refusal to continue playing, acknowledging the resurrection chance but fearing torment from the creatures. She asked if they wanted to leave the mysterious world, presenting options of confirmation or cancellation. He acknowledged the suggestion to stop, while two girls discussed the tasks that caused everyone to hesitate, clearly worried about the situation. He appeared surprised and confused, eyes wide as he contemplated the unexpected situation. He seemed amazed as he questioned if Li Jiahao truly returned from the 14th floor, pondering the possibility of a hidden boss. He inquires his friends about the availability of awakening points, eager to learn more. Feeling anxious, he glances at the girl behind him who appears confident and ready to act. He expresses confusion and curiosity, questioning if they have previously experienced death. He hesitantly shares that after saying goodbye, he was fatally stabbed by the nurse on the 14th floor. He remembers being unexpectedly killed during cleaning by a collapsing roof and casually mentions dying after being hit by a cabinet. With anger, he demands an explanation for their refusal to stop, warning that without resurrection points, they will face death in reality. She asserts that finishing the main quest offers a chance to attend Qingdao University, speaking with determination. Her fighting spirit is strong after being involved in various mysteries, vowing not to surrender easily. She insists on going to Qingdao University or Qingming, while he encourages her to complete the task and demonstrate her strength. Lying on the bed, she appears content, expressing delight with a joyful sigh. He breathes a sigh of relief, expressing he's finally finished. Nearby, a character in leopard print pants complains about the situation, calling it rude. He praises the patience, while she, reclining with a drink, invites him to get drunk together tonight. He wonders about the outcomes of others' missions, looking back with curiosity at the door, showing a hint of concern. He turns in surprise to a figure lounging against the wall, calling out, Li Jiahao, with curiosity. He notices a red vending machine while pondering the unexpected offer for help with his assignment. He decides to refuse the offer, expressing uncertainty about the risks and admitting his friend's unpredictable nature intrigues and frightens him. He appears conflicted, apologizing earnestly, feeling the weight of the moment. He stands confidently, holding a drink as his opponent lurches away, displaying a hint of surprise. He apologizes, expressing remorse for earlier events, and emphasizes the importance of the mysterious challenge mission that he can't ignore. He questions the relevance of the other person's apology, insisting he wasn't deceived by the coins, and expresses a hint of irritation. He noticed another character and apologized for the interruption, expressing understanding. While holding a soda, he explained that a patient shared information about the head nurse and reflected on a missed opportunity. He mentioned receiving a hint about visiting the head nurse's room but felt he missed the chance. Leaning close to the class leader, he curiously asked why he was moving so quickly, while another character smirked. With a smug expression, he claimed they were classmates, questioned their lack of teamwork, and urged to ask Ah Fu for confirmation, mentioning avenging Xiaojun. He enthusiastically invited Patrick Star to catch jellyfish together while watching TV. She enjoyed snacks and realized she needed to ask the head nurse to change her bed again. Sitting in his room, he appeared puzzled as objects crashed around him, wondering what had occurred. A group of characters stood in a doorway, appearing fierce. One held a weapon while others seemed anxious, hinting at a confrontation. In a dramatic moment, a character yelled in shock, holding a weapon, and angrily questioned who bullied their little brother, emphasizing urgency and conflict. A character, startled, urges a grandparent to stop, embarrassed by their pants, creating a humorous yet tense moment. A character reflects on Jiang Che's mysterious control over patients, while another whispers about the class leader and the nurse's room. Contemplating Li Jiahao's words, a character expects to find the head nurse on the negative fourth floor, watching the elevator heading there. Standing at the doorway, a character hesitates with a hand in his pocket, uncertain as shadows surround him. He presses the button marked -1, focused and determined to make his next move. As the elevator descends, he stands confidently next to her. She appears slightly anxious, awaiting what lies ahead. She inquires if the man is going to the morgue, expressing her own intention to go, while he cautions her about the place. She doubts the man's sanity, questioning his intent to visit the morgue, and admits her fear of ghosts despite not being human. She mentions that the hospital has been around for centuries, sending the deceased to the morgue after treating the living. She observes that unclaimed corpses accumulate in the morgue, wondering if its silence adds to the eerie atmosphere. He comments that the corpses often disappear and go outside, creating a mysterious atmosphere in the morgue. He is surprised that the dead can still come out to play, while she finds it quite strange. She explains that the head nurse uses a red number plate for patient identification, but he notes his is different. She gestures gracefully, her fingers poised as vibrant colors swirl in the background, creating a dreamy scene. With a tense expression, she sits with furrowed brows, glancing sideways, beads of sweat glinting on her skin. She demands to know the location of her identification bracelet, while he casually holds it out, taunting her. She angrily asks when he took her bracelet, while he teasingly holds it up with scissors, grinning. They notice a sign for a negative floor, and he exclaims that it is not good. He urges her to close the door quickly, questioning her excitement. Frustrated, he complains about the broken button, stating it should have been fixed long ago. He stands alert, sensing danger as sharp sounds pierce the silence, preparing for any threat. He peeks through a partially open door, noticing a ghostly character with dark eyes, heightening the tension as an eerie atmosphere envelopes the room. He cautiously moves down a dimly lit corridor, tension in the air, with words, "Read it first on Dragontia.ink," calling from the corner. Bloodied and tense, he stands alone in the corridor as an ominous atmosphere surrounds him. Horror fills his stare, his grotesque head reveals exposed brain matter, with wide, dark eyes reflecting shock and glimmers of blood, embodying dread. Running with intense urgency, his bloodied, pale outfit contrasts against the vibrant, chaotic background, embodying fear and desperation. He nervously approaches the door, finger hovering above the button, exclaiming in panic about the situation. Realizing someone has arrived, he panics, shouting with frustration about their presence. A character in a striped outfit leaps with urgency, panic evident as they repeatedly shout to close the door, echoing through the tense atmosphere. She smiles wickedly, claiming they are safe, while a hand knocks at the door, creating urgency. In surprise, he demands to know her actions as he stands in the doorway, gripping the frame tightly. She appeared confused, her pink hair outlining her face as she nervously sweated, with her uncertainty about the situation evident. She expressed disbelief as a bloody character blocked the elevator, while he showed frustration at their intention to use it. He inquired whether missing the elevator would trouble her conscience, considering someone with urgent business might be delayed. She asked why he discussed conscience if he was merely a ghost, puzzled by his intentions. In the dim elevator, a skeletal character, a brooding young man, and a striking woman stood together, sharing an unsettling presence. Within the eerie elevator atmosphere, a skeletal character asked his companion about washing his head, causing confusion for the young man and woman. Desperate and fearful, a young man pleaded to enter the elevator, expressing gratitude while clinging to the door, as a wheelchair lay abandoned nearby. The young man asked his sister how she managed to go to the bathroom, his curiosity clear as he gestured toward her wheelchair. The young man expressed gratitude, noting the child's bravery, while an older character laughed, enjoying the moment and complimenting the child's fearless spirit. The older character smiled, mentioning Grandma's appreciation for the child's kindness, while playfully admitting he couldn't frighten them. The group is in a chaotic room. An older character questions Grandma's excitement while others, visibly injured, appear distressed. He sarcastically asks Grandma where she got her dentures, suggesting there might be a dental clinic in the mysterious world, while she stands silently in the background. She yells furiously, demanding they stop. Her expression is fierce, showcasing sharp teeth, with her outfit hinting at a playful yet daunting character. With a sinister grin, she declares her intention to devour the boy, revealing a mouth filled with sharp teeth, embodying danger and hunger. He, frustrated, urges her to stop, but she, covered in blood, insists she has been listening and demands he give her everything he's said. With a manic grin, she insists that he belongs to her, questioning if he understands modesty, while blood stains and chaos surround them. The angry grandmother confronts him with a fierce expression, accusing him of rudeness as she claims him as her grandson, while chaos unfolds around them. He claims ownership over someone, demanding the old woman to move aside while asserting his priority with an arrogant tone, as chaos swirls in the background. She anxiously calls out, desperate for attention, holding a gruesome object dripping with blood, her red eyes wide with urgency. She exclaims in frustration, questioning his intelligence while revealing her bloodied weapon, insisting the boy has vanished, conveying urgency and panic. He sneaks out confidently, wearing a stylish outfit. He considers how the system hinted at room 140, pondering the creatures that protect their territories. He stands by a covered body, ready to fight, thinking the opponents aren't clever. He is in a morgue, appreciating the quietness compared to dealing with classmates. He walks through the morgue, finding peace in the stillness, away from classmates' annoyance. He glances around the morgue, lost in thoughts about solitude, suddenly thinking, He holds a book and note, intrigued by something significant, contemplating this. On August 25th, she celebrates becoming a doctor, despite her schedule, aiming to help others like her teacher. On September 12th, she remembers a boy from a small island visiting the hospital, cooperating during his injection, reminding her of childhood. He sees a message about a challenge hint titled Old Photo, noting, sorrowful cry of the bloody night, with 90% completion. On March 28th, a character remembered teacher Nyo praising her learning skills and expressed her desire to follow his path, all while a bloodied photo framed the memory. She felt betrayed and questioned why her admired teacher acted cruelly, noting her fear and confusion amid chaos and flames. Amidst the turmoil, he felt betrayed and faced judgment from others, vowing to prove himself as the true victim. With fury, he threatened violence and torture, not expecting a hidden story behind the challenge. He focused intently, clutching the book, ready to uncover secrets hidden in the shadows, suggesting a deeper mystery. Upon reaching near completion, he complained about the system's intentions, holding his book tightly as a mysterious challenge hint appeared. Warnings blared as the system informed challengers of a switch to nightmare mode, hinting at the return of a killer from 50 years ago. Concerned, he warned her about an approaching killing round, leaving her worried as they both faced the impending danger. With an uneasy laugh, he showed a mix of humor and tension in the moment. Confidently smirking, he considered a rare occurrence, revealing that nightmare mode offers unique rewards despite a high death rate. The mission unexpectedly changes, introducing a daunting task named Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody World. Confused, he mutters to himself in surprise. Frustrated, he angrily questions whether the task has some awareness, realizing he increased its progress by 99% before it changed. Frustration grips him as he acknowledges the growing weight of his actions, sweat forming on his forehead. Surprised, he questions how she appeared there, noticing her standing confidently in a nurse outfit with a playful smirk, holding a clipboard. He is surprised to learn her title is head nurse and recalls his embarrassment about invading privacy, deciding to leave quickly. He runs frantically, surprised she doesn't stop him, as she observes quietly from the shadows with intrigue. Jiang Che looks alarmed as his friends call out, one asking if he's okay, another expressing urgency, tension filling the elevator. Jiang Che, surprised, realizes he needs to change Ah Fu's name to Alfred, his expression showing concern and determination. In a modern reception area, a girl in a sailor uniform questions a group of boys, curious about their gathering. During a tense moment, a girl with a serious expression asks the boy if he's okay with the morgue situation, while he considers their next steps. He tells her about meeting the head nurse at the morgue and wonders why she didn't attack him, noting that nightmare mode is no joke, especially without resurrection points. He urges everyone to stop, his expression serious, as two classmates watch in the school setting. He feels anxiety, appearing worried as he stares into the distance, lost in contemplation. He considers the risk and remains determined to face the challenge, believing the reward will be greater. He questions if the other is crazy, explaining that nightmare mode has nearly a 100% mortality rate for beginners, asking if he wants to die. He states he has no choice, explaining that, having taken all the coins, returning now would mean compensating everyone. He addresses her with urgency, while she seems concerned about their next move as he speaks to the group leader. He worries that despite the leader's fighting spirit, his life is still paramount, while another promises to avoid hindrance by holding back. He encourages Brother Che to step forward, expressing his trust, as two others stand nearby in a modern setting. He questions Brother Che's intentions, urging him to reconsider, citing a proverb about death's finality, while someone stands close by. He gasped in shock, his expression a mix of frustration and surprise as the urgency of the situation became evident. He called out to his friends in disbelief, while Jiang Che and Boss playfully tugged at his outfit. Nervously sweating, he was teased by one friend who smiled confidently and another with cat ears, creating light-hearted tension. Raising his hands, he insisted he understood, expressing concern over his friend's reckless choices and emphasizing he wouldn't take responsibility for their lives. Blood stains marred the tiled floor of a dimly lit morgue, hinting at recent turmoil amid the shrouded bodies on the gurneys. In a dim room, she smirked, expressing her anticipation, saying she had waited a long time for this mode to arrive. With a wicked smile and blood-stained face, she declared this her favorite mode, enjoying the chaotic atmosphere. A warning echoed as the clock ominously ticked towards midnight, signaling the killer's hunt for challengers was about to begin. Chilling tension filled the air as blood splattered the dark hallway, while the clock ticked closer to midnight, marking the start of the killer's hunt. In the dim space, a girl with long blonde hair faced a dark-haired boy, who smirked mischievously, while another figure watched, tension hanging in the air. He encouraged her to stay calm as they faced challenges together, holding a sword. They stared at the mysterious door as it creaked open, while a friend glanced back, aware of the tension. She stood near the door, urging someone to open it, with dark stains hinting at danger inside. He insisted everyone must remain in their rooms at night, allowing no sharing, while a girl and another boy listened closely. She glared, her eyes glowing as she asked why he was reluctant to open the door. She charged forward, surrounded by chaotic energy, her clothes torn and glowing red, determined against danger. She unleashed a powerful attack, her weapon shimmering with energy, while he watched in surprise as chaos erupted. She greeted ominously, her dark eyes reflecting chaos, with flying shards heightening the eerie scene. With a smirk, she questioned challengers, her revealing outfit and presence commanding, debris adding tension. Urgently, he urged the others to move, his expression tense as debris lay ominously scattered around. He declared his intent to stop her and urged everyone to escape, pointing out she had created a hole in the door. He insisted there was no time to think, telling her to leave him and go before he regretted it. She called to her squad leader, urging him to follow her quickly. She paused, unsure about what to do regarding Senio, just as a sudden slash cut through the air. He ran, glancing back at her with worry as she stood in shock. She held a bloodied knife, calm and ready for her next move. With wide eyes, she whispered about the squad leader while shadows loomed menacingly behind her. He bolted down the hallway, panic pushing him forward, while others crouched in fear. He rushed forward, alarmed by something unseen, as a bright light flashed behind him. Startled, he gasped, declaring it impossible as he faced an unexpected challenge. Startled, he urged Li Xiao to escape the world, questioning the leader's motives with uncertainty. In a panic, she resolved to leave the mysterious world, confirming her choice amid the surrounding struggles. He ducked as chaos erupted, debris flying, signaling a battle in the dim corridor. With a bloodied knife, he stared at the fallen character, tension thick in the air. Blood splattered her attire, the nurse's eerie expression and glowing eyes hinting at dark intentions. He shouted in panic, sweating, as the number 14 loomed ominously, increasing the dread. He yelled, urging others not to question him, emphasizing that people are self-centered. Recalling a painful past, he revealed his father died of cancer while his mother left, leaving deep scars. Expressing desperation, he thought of his father in the hospital, realizing this challenge was his only option. He smirked, dismissing another's explanation, insisting they shouldn't pretend to have the saddest life here. He approaches the stairs, mentioning Li Xiaoxiao's promise to invite them to dinner upon her return, and reveals she also spoke about their family. He pauses, looking troubled and uncertain, with sweat forming on his brow, conveying tension and anticipation. He voices his concern about the challenges of being a guild leader. She reassures him, highlighting their camaraderie as classmates. He acknowledges that humans prioritize their lives above all else, while another character reflects on choices and their consequences. He ascends the stairs, expressing that this situation is not his concern. He states confidently he only needs to care for himself, holding a noticeable item, ready to face whatever comes next. She stands at the edge, curious, questioning something unexpected as dark clouds loom above. She hugs her brother tightly, asking if he's there to play, excitement in her eyes. He gently states he wants to discuss something important, while his brother wonders if a little girl is present. He shouts in frustration about an urgent issue, with his brother standing nearby concerned, and a little girl watching curiously from behind. She stood confidently with a weapon, pleased to see them, aware of their arrival. He sensed a chilling aura, realizing she had D-rank mysteries, which increased the tension. Understanding he couldn't defeat her directly, he recalled the mission rules against killing the killer. He thought survival was futile, believing escape was impossible. He urged her to listen to his story, showing urgency and a desire for understanding. The bloodied nurse stood still, her empty eyes conveying a haunting tale of horror and mystery. He looked at a photo, remembering a kind, intelligent girl aspiring to become a head nurse. He recalled a photo of a girl who had achieved her dream of becoming a permanent nurse. Despite her fatigue, she remained cheerful, forming bonds with many patients until everything changed one day. The nurse stood in shock, having witnessed something startling that altered her day. The nurse witnessed her respected teacher assaulting a female patient and gasped. Her mind blank, she struggled to resist him, showing determination in desperation. Amid the chaos, the teacher's cruel nature came to light, revealing unexpected aftereffects. In despair, she felt his relentless grip, unnoticed as he crossed an unimaginable line. The manager, in a letter, expressed sadness over the teacher's promotion to head nurse, noting her potential. She wanted to unveil the truth, but no one believed her, rumors spreading instead as she walked confidently down the hallway. The girl recognized Sun Xiaoxiao, the head nurse of Huangquan Hospital, who had a menacing expression. He confronted her, mentioning an incident's aftermath, leading to insults from coworkers and patients distancing themselves. She grinned with blood on her lips, whispering a haunting, "Ah," in the surrounding darkness. With a twisted grin, he raged about sinners deserving punishment, declaring he would cut them all to pieces. He acknowledged the reality with a thoughtful expression and quietly agreed. With a fierce glare, she questioned his disbelief, asserting she wasn't a saint and they earned her wrath. He pointed out with confidence that deep inside, she was a good person. He insisted the little girl beside him proved his point, while she clung to him anxiously. She managed the hospital's inpatient room, while the ghost nurse haunted the 14th floor, and a little girl cried on the roof in fear. He inquired about their separation, speculating if little Xiao was her daughter and wondered how an innocent child could scare the ghosts. She questioned him about leaving kindness in her care, asking how he could let her remain cursed while seeking his own freedom. She questioned the meaning of goodness, revealing her struggle to escape her past and feeling trapped despite his intentions. She fiercely declared she needed no one's sympathy or pity and confronted two figures. She announced it was time to end things, gripping a weapon with determination and intensity. She firmly told him to go away, her clothes marked with blood while she stood resolute. He smirked, saying she couldn't defeat him, and mentioned he held a hostage. He warned that if little Xiao was harmed, she would also pay. He looked at the blood, panic clear in his eyes, realizing the threat he faced. He cried out for Xiao Xiao, who rested in his arms, blood on her lips, with danger lurking behind them. He laughed, claiming the challenge prize, excitement in his eyes. He thanked Jiang Che, determination in his clenched hand, ready to assert himself. He was puzzled, tense as he clenched his fist, unsure of what had transpired. He felt frustrated, raising his hand in turmoil, his hair slightly messy, showing his inner struggle. He lay on the ground, afraid, as she held her arm, with a shadow threatening above, blood pooling around. Blood staining the ground, he staggered back, questioning how she could oppose him, while she stood with her weapon, calm and poised. She smirked, taunting the humans who thought they could harm her, wielding her sword confidently. She grew tired of their games, declaring so with a fierce grin and pointing her blade at the stormy sky. He shouted angrily, frustration on his face, while she, dressed as a nurse, warned him not to proceed. She admitted none were sinners, stating the cursed group from earlier justified their actions. Fury in her eyes, she insisted that not all darkness needs light, nor do all sinners need salvation. Tears streamed down her face as she cried that not all sinners need salvation, claiming they were the ones in need. She expressed that they have paid the price, questioning the others' happiness and claiming their emotions are alike. With a conflicted expression, she hesitated, beginning with, but, her eyes revealing unspoken emotions. The girl confronted the woman, accusing her of imprisonment for years, exposing deep-seated pain. The girl questioned whether remaining unspoiled could bring happiness, revealing her discontent. The girl eagerly awaited his visits, holding the bloody blade by the mysterious woman. She clung to the woman, expressing her pain and wishing to end her suffering. She asked him to rest well, her eyes showing both sorrow and hope. She embraced him, offering a bittersweet farewell as fragments sparkled around them. Realizing his unhappiness, she noticed the sparkling fragments contrasting with her sadness. They were advised to read it first on dragonte.link. He expressed relief, acknowledging his fear and noting everything was fine except for Li Jiahao. Reflecting on happiness and sorrow, he understood only self-redemption is possible. In a dreamlike setting, she declared the moment her salvation. She celebrated victory, anticipating rewards in the real world after completing the trials. He felt accomplished, relieved the challenges were over. He exclaimed in surprise when the screen announced completion rewards would be awarded. He held a pair of red shoes, remembering he forgot to give them to her, sitting with a contemplative expression. He observed the screen showing his personal overall rating as S, with his level increased, feeling accomplished. He stood on the balcony, joyful about gaining extra sly power, plus 50, reminded of his growth and acquired items. He examined the exquisite urn, contemplating its beauty for the mission, alongside a medical kit with essential supplies, and wore the bloody nurse uniform for enhanced abilities. He shouted excitedly about the huge harvest, hands dramatically clenched, expressing joy in a colorful, lively setting. He confidently noted making a lot of money, surrounded by swirling colorful digital patterns, indicating a transmission into an unknown interface. He frowned with determination, tears streaming, as a question mark hovered below, reflecting his confusion in the rain. He exclaimed in surprise about unknown interference, realizing the system guide hadn't warned him about venturing into an unfamiliar dimension. In Class 2 of the second year, a mysterious lantern with sparkling jewels sat next to a colorful light projector, suggesting hidden wonders. In a quiet classroom, two students sit apart. One is lost in thought, and the other is asleep. A red traffic light shines above them. The principal of Tianjin University questions a student, asking if the world's difficulty has truly shifted to nightmare mode. He confirms that only Jiang Che, Li Xiaoxiao, and class leader Li Jiahao remained when he came out. He states he won't leave early unless it switches to nightmare mode. A stern man observes that only one person remains from the three who started, as a green light glows. Zhou Fu, looking anxious, questions his certainty about Jiang Che being the last remaining participant in the tense situation. A character with a sly smile questions if Jiang Che, labeled a bastard, can survive if the class leader dies. The imposing instructor declares that many students have never faced nightmare mode, emphasizing that completing it brings pride to their school. A concerned woman in a green suit questions why the mission is complete yet someone hasn't emerged. A mysterious girl with pink hair stands silently behind her. A girl with pink hair and a serious expression calls out Jiang Che's name, hinting at something ominous as she mentions nightmare mode. Standing before a towering structure, he questions, thinking it's his dream, while shadows loom above him in the heavenly prison. Confused, he looks around, questioning how he ended up in this unknown place after being teleported. As eerie whispers bounce off the stone walls, he approaches the ominous door, feeling dread as smoke swirls around. Near an ominous door that opens on its own, he feels uneasy, wondering how often he was forbidden to enter and if it's a trap. Standing in a dark prison, he feels a chill and questions whether the person mentioned is really him. Welcome to prison, Jiang Che. He is fascinated by the glowing magic swirling around his hand, captivated by the vibrant sparks of energy. A powerful energy surrounds him, causing him to sweat, as he realizes he can sense everything happening in the hidden chamber. He understands everything is in prison and that it's not just a dream but a real place, surrounded by an eerie atmosphere. Closing his eyes in thought, a sense of foreboding overtakes him as he contemplates the challenging reality ahead. However, concerned about the prison's cleanliness, he feels uneasy at the sight of a nearby spider in the unsettling atmosphere. He gazes into the dimly lit prison, unease growing as the flickering torches illuminate the stone walls. He studied the spiral staircase, its ancient stone illuminated by flickering lights, casting shadows throughout the space. He contemplated the unsettling sound from the floor, with chains creating a dark atmosphere in the background. He noticed the chains binding his feet in the darkness, blinking in surprise. He grinned, captivated by a figure in a red dress, exuding a mysterious energy. He was transfixed by the figure in the red dress, feeling a strong connection. He felt uncertain, thinking he shouldn't get his hopes up, as doubt clouded his mind. In cell number 1, the headless prisoner, Xiaoman, stood out in red, surrounded by mysterious lights, with a note that increasing her favorability could unlock abilities. He expressed astonishment about the mysteries, noting her aura was stronger than the head nurse's. He asked Xiaoman if she wanted to eat, suggesting hamburgers or marshmallows, while another character claimed invincibility despite the pressure. He offered her a drink, suggesting coffee, while others jokingly asked about her preference for handsome men or beautiful women. He suggested taking her out for fun with a playful smirk. Chains suddenly bound her feet, leaving her in shock and surprise. A headless female character in crimson drew his attention as he sought answers, expressing his desire to find her missing head. He confidently promised the cloaked woman in crimson to help find her head, boasting about his experience with games involving beautiful girls. With a mix of amusement and disbelief, he questioned her sanity, asking if she was tired of living. She stated confidently that, as a human, he was easily killable, needing only a finger movement, surrounded by a vibrant, mystical atmosphere. In surprise, she questioned his reaction while he stood calmly, enchanted chains swirling around them. Holding a glowing object, he confidently asserted his stance against any misunderstanding, clarifying his lack of interest in women. Clutching a scroll, he declared they must first make a contract, revealing her two choices. He emphasized that refusing the contract would lead to dire consequences, as tension filled the air. He hesitates, holding a mysterious scroll, pondering his next move as tension builds. Reading the contract, he sees serious instructions about caring for Master Jiang Che, focusing on love, homework, and protection from mysterious threats. With a confident smirk, he acknowledges the contract's assignment to ensure Master Jiang Che's well-being, feeling the weight of the words, how shameless. Slyly smiling, he considers how to express warmth when the master feels lonely, recognizing the challenge ahead. Furiously, he exclaims his preference for death over facing humiliation at the hands of humans, tearing the fabric in frustration. Jiang Che, surprised, learns he must assist Xiaoman in finding her head, feeling the unexpected obligation. In a classroom filled with students, Jiang Che looks puzzled as an elderly man gestures to Xiaoman, who appears determined, conveying urgency about a missing item. A student stands frozen in the classroom, his body pixelating as vibrant letters awkwardly hang above him, leaving classmates bewildered by the strange phenomenon. Happily declaring his return, he surprises classmates, amazed by the floating blue particles around them. Everyone is stunned as he exclaims joyfully, calling him Brother Che, while another character questions how this could be possible. Jiang Che sits among concerned characters as the principal offers tea, while others ensure his well-being, expressing optimism about his condition. Jiang Che, appearing nervous, contemplates the principal and his homeroom teacher. The principal reassures Jiang Che, saying there's no need to feel embarrassed and calls Jiang the school's hope. Jiang Che finds this embarrassing. He laughs nervously, holding a hot mug, exclaiming the tea is too hot and his hands feel almost cooked. She points and shouts in panic, urging not to let the tea burn Jiang Che's hands, while the principal, startled, recalls similar experiences. Jiang Che looks concerned, sweat trailing down his face as he processes the situation. A determined girl with pink hair demands they step outside to talk, standing confidently in her uniform. Yi Qingniao wonders what the school belle wants from him, while an older man with a mustache observes curiously. Yi Qingniao considers if his charm attracted the aloof beauty's attention, with the mustached man watching, intrigued. Yi Qingniao and the school beauty relax on a balcony under a picturesque sky, surrounded by the school's architecture. He congratulated her on completing the challenge, and she smirked, revealing it was on nightmare mode. The overall atmosphere remained tense yet playful. He teased her about her achievements, mentioning a mysterious creature, a prison, and Xiao Man, hinting at secrets yet to be uncovered. With a smirk and a soft chuckle, he seemed to share an inside joke only he understood. She questioned his meaning, highlighting their bond with the mysterious creature, and wondered how so many students could die in their class. He stood silently, searching for words, while she gazed back with curiosity and impatience, creating palpable tension. Standing with a worried expression and sweating, he contemplated how she could possibly know him, raising questions about their past. With a confident smirk, he didn't grasp the significance of her words regarding the contract that allowed them to feel each other's presence. Reflecting on his earlier carelessness, he regretted wanting to conceal the details of his mysterious contract. Her pink hair framed an intense gaze as she questioned how much tribute was asked in exchange for the mysteries. Confronting a shadowy figure behind her, she questioned the notion of tribute while the boy worried about their classmate's fate. She inquired if he heard anything alarming, pondering how humans seldom entered contracts, making such agreements almost unheard of. She envied their treatment, while he considered the fate of the 13 individuals who didn't return from the challenge. He realized she had been sacrificed as a tribute. His expression turned serious, filled with anger and sorrow. She reassured him, advising against excessive worry, as she confidently held her phone, her pink hair cascading softly. She proposed they exchange contact information to get acquainted, stating they should be the sole contractors there. A tall, unfinished building looms against the vibrant sky, indicating a sense of anticipation. An invitation to read more is provided below. A crowd gathers with interest as the announcement marks the conclusion of the current secret challenge at Tianqing University. The crowd is tense, focusing on the announcement that reveals the participants facing elimination in the ongoing challenge. The large outdoor area is buzzing with anticipation, as students from Class 1 and Class 2 await the secret challenge results, aware some faced elimination. As tension builds, Junbo warns about a dangerous woman, while a mysterious character inquires, "Do you want me to eliminate her?" With sweat on his brow, the character questioned how others could continue to fight and kill each day, describing them as mysteries. He warned against acting recklessly in this world, explaining that it could lead to serious trouble and noting that Xiangnan's true nature in the secret realm was still hidden. He agreed with her, stating her words were reasonable, and expressed his willingness to listen. Expressing disbelief, he questioned how his son could be in such a situation, showing his confusion. He sat beside her in despair, grappling with disbelief, as she took cover while the wheelchair-bound character observed them. He called out to Jiahao, urging calm amidst the chaos, pleading desperately for his daughter. He questioned if she sympathized with them, asserting this was the real world where human life truly existed. Despite mandatory participation in the secret challenge, he emphasized that students could leave after entering if they chose, reminding everyone it was their decision. He stood outside, thoughtful, calling for Xiao Che with a beautiful sunset behind him. She exclaimed with irritation, questioning his lack of response to her call, her vibrant red hair glowing in the sunset. He apologized to his sister for being lost in thought as the sunset bathed them in a golden light. She tousled his hair and urged him to come home, promising to make his favorite braised pork slices, with bunnies creating a cheerful scene around them. She expressed relief after hearing about the 11 classmates who died, while he questioned the allure of a mysterious world and warned her of future dangers. He was startled when the woman with a menacing aura exclaimed that she hadn't allowed him to enter the mysterious world. Panic struck him as the woman, dressed in dark clothing, angrily questioned his judgment for ignoring her warnings about her sister. A red-haired girl asked Xiao Che if he was okay, and he insisted he was fine, even as a mysterious character playfully embraced him. He excitedly informed his sister that he completed the level, along with the nightmare mode and challenge missions, waving enthusiastically. She gazed at him with an unreadable expression, while he looked nervously back, sweat forming on his forehead. She teased him about seeing things, her voice confident, while he appeared puzzled, sweat trickling down his forehead. He dismissed her teasing, expressing surprise at her strength, while a voice urged him to hurry and clean his uniform after break. He advised her against revisiting the mysterious world, stating she would now work at the factory and assured her that everything he said was true. In the auditorium, he listened as someone remarked that succeeding in this world was impossible. He wondered why he hadn't been informed of an award despite his good grades and realized the school deliberately hides student grades unless officially announced. Jiang Che stood with an intense expression as someone asked if they could sit next to him, hinting at underlying tension. A character with striking pink hair, dressed stylishly, looked down seriously as she asked about Qingyao. The character with pink hair confidently suggested he join third class instead of second class. He noticed a mysterious woman while someone advised him not to worry about her, leaving him confused and asking what was happening. She pointed out something significant, capturing his attention as he listened intently, intrigued by her observation. At the podium, he spoke with enthusiasm, gestures and symbols floating around, indicating his animated discussion. He questioned what was happening, wondering if the principal's wig would come off, with a surprised expression while standing at the podium. He appeared horrified as blood dripped down, sweat on his brow, realizing the grim reality of the situation. Standing horrified, he witnessed the harsh fate of the captured characters, while shadows loomed ominously around him. In shock, he stared at the sinister character with glowing eyes, feeling the weight of impending danger as fear gripped him. He exclaimed in fear about a ghost while others shouted for the teachers, panicking as they realized the mysteries had invaded the real world and urged everyone to run. Scoffing, he questioned if the trials of the mysterious world had taught her anything, revealing his skeptical nature. Stating that the recent event was merely an invasion by an evil spirit in his body, she stood beside him, observing. Expressing disappointment with their performance, he questioned the future of the country if the younger generation behaved like cowards, while the others looked tense. Gazing at the kid, his expression serious, he indicated concern or curiosity about the young one's potential amidst the backdrop of mystery. Impressed, he noted how the kid surpassed expectations and possessed remarkable talent, while others around him displayed no reaction. He wondered about the man's strange, unsettling smile, questioning whether the man really fell for him at first sight. She mentioned the appearance of conspiracy squad members, while he questioned their identity, intrigued by her seriousness. She asked if he was unaware, and he explained how universities previously staged scenarios during admissions to gauge students' reactions. He reflected on the importance of teamwork for the nation's future, as they prepared for their first appearance at a college graduation event. He pondered deeply, recognizing something was amiss, wondering if a significant event had occurred. He asked if she was scared and wondered if he should harm her, implying they could face consequences for their actions. She teased him about his worry, explaining the evil spirit in his body was merely level D, playfully likening him to a little brother. He smirked, expressing concern about getting arrested for attacking, while she retorted, calling him a coward and questioning his experience with jail. He turned and demanded silence from everyone in the room, asserting that he didn't want to hear anything else. On September 23, in the Wei calendar, he grimly noted that all 3,214 residents of a community in Shansheng had vanished overnight. He observed that the eerie figures on the balconies were human skins, frighteningly transformed into clothing. On March 13, in the 122nd year of the Wei calendar, a clown incident in Shanghai led to the death of 144 minors, including 86 children. He mentioned they could enter a mysterious world, with objects crossing between worlds. She asked how many people stop upon entering and noted their careless behavior, aware of the risks. He inquired if understanding the mysterious world challenge required waiting until the world's end. He stated his purpose was to start another challenge, clarifying participation wasn't mandatory and those uninterested could depart. She vowed in the name of conspiracy to those who chose to stay, as her peers listened in the classroom. A student mentioned that completing the challenge's main task would lead to recommendations from Tsinghua University and Peking University. He said students performing well would join the conspiracy reserve team. He noted additional rewards existed but chose not to elaborate. He declared the group now had the power to make independent choices, marking empowerment. He questioned the short time frame, while she refused to participate, expressing concern over the mysteries that shouldn't involve them. He suggested a graduation ceremony, while others around him expressed frustration at the idea. He sat quietly, his hair obscuring his eyes, as those around him felt the weight of the situation. He shouted in frustration, pleading for space as he grappled with returning to a mysterious world. He demanded help to find his head, questioning her ability to assist without returning to the mysterious world, while she asserted her authority as his master. He insisted on assistance in finding his head, arguing it wasn't against the contract, while she threatened him with imprisonment or worse. She explained that when a contracted spirit dies, the person may lose mental control or even die, while he appeared confused. He looked frustrated, sweating with confusion, exclaiming that many details are missing in those contracts. The principal praised the remaining students for their bravery and announced a bonus of 200,000 yuan for their guardians. The commander confidently declared it was time to stop while holding a glowing lantern with a purple crystal, marking a pivotal moment. He struggles on the ground, shouting in frustration as a countdown begins, wishing everyone well. A teacher, adjusting his glasses, welcomes new classmates in a classroom while a warning about the importance of teacher relationships is highlighted. With determination, he reflects on the first 2 days at Bone Broken College, questioning if others truly lack feelings while standing with his classmates. The teacher, with enthusiastic applause, encourages new students to introduce themselves, prompting Broccoli to start as curiosity fills the room. Feeling nervous, Wang Dafa introduces himself, revealing he is 18 and enjoys singing, dancing, rapping, and basketball. He mentions his love for eating chicken and his excellent shooting skills. With a nervous smile, Wang Dafa informs his teacher that he has completed his introduction, while the teacher looks on with interest. Wang Dafa hesitates as the teacher, casually turning away, suggests he takes a seat, causing Dafa to doubt the situation's simplicity. A man with a sinister grin, surrounded by red splatters, exclaims gleefully while brandishing a weapon, hinting at impending chaos. Covered in blood, he questions the twisted fascination with tormenting others, feeling a mix of dread and clarity about the surrounding chaos. Xiaoman is urged to demonstrate her power as he realizes she has exhausted her abilities to control his body, leaving him anxious and reliant on her. In a school hallway, he expressed disbelief about being manipulated, recalling past experiences while hopeful about enhancing his skills. In a lively classroom, Jiang Che introduced himself with confidence, sharing his age, notable appearance, and unique abilities, intriguing an observer. Jiang Che stressed the importance of his name, passionately gesturing as his friends watched his spirited demeanor with interest. Jiang Che declared his name with anger, raising his fist, ready to confront the situation as the room buzzed with energy. Students turned in surprise, questioning Jiang Che's presence, their faces showing confusion and anticipation. Jiang Che shouted, grabbing a classmate's shirt intensely, as the atmosphere filled with tension and curiosity. Jiang Che, bare-chested and energetic, yelled his name amidst excitement, as classmates cheered enthusiastically, creating a lively scene. His classmates exclaimed in excitement, praising him as incredible, while Jiang Che stood confidently before a chalkboard, their enthusiasm filling the room. With confidence and determination, Jiang Che tore off his shirt in front of amazed classmates, who cheered him on enthusiastically. Caught off guard, Jiang Che was reassured by his teacher, who emphasized dressing properly and advised him to sit and zip up his pants. Jiang Che, without a shirt, confidently tells his teacher that if the teacher is as smart as him, passing will be easy. The teacher, with a confident smile, tells the students to stay calm and return to their seats, then asks the new female classmate to introduce herself. With a determined look, the pink-haired girl breaks the desk, asserting her strength and commanding attention. Yi Qingniao introduces herself as a 6-year-old and talks about her past record at age 3, cautioning others not to get too close or face consequences. The teacher expresses approval and invites Wang Defa to come forward amidst the ongoing chaos. Wang Defa nervously introduces himself, admitting he enjoys eating dirt, while the teacher watches in surprise as chaos continues. After the new student's introduction, the teacher urges everyone to begin class, mentioning the need for a substitute due to an incident with the previous teacher. Holding a textbook, the teacher stresses the importance of paying attention in class, warning that failure will lead to penalties from the Education Bureau. He questions why the world is so trendy, wondering how everyone knows every meme and if they also use TikTok. Walking through a classroom filled with students focused on their work, he ponders the reasons behind the world's trends. In a cozy restaurant, 4 friends enjoy sushi together. One friend playfully teases another while reaching for more food. In a tense classroom, a student expresses despair over a challenge. Another student, in tears, recounts how classmates took a peer's head and toyed with it. With a serious expression, he insists that recklessness won't lead to freedom and shares his concern about feeling awful if he doesn't get into Harvard. As the discussion continues, Yang Xiang emphasizes that only 5 of them remain as challengers and suggests they collaborate to enhance their chances of success. She explains that there's nothing significant to learn on the first day, and they will later be assigned a dorm room to care for each other. He questions whether male and female students share a living space at the school. Another character looks surprised, reacting to his question. The scene captures a school building at dusk with blue and pink lights illuminating its structure, creating a tranquil yet mysterious atmosphere. In the room, a boy stands by the unmade bed, surrounded by scattered clothes on a pink bear-patterned blanket, creating a sense of chaos. He prayed with tears in his eyes, overwhelmed with joy at fulfilling his dream of living with a cute girl in a mysterious world. He stood confused, wide-eyed and startled, uncertain of his surroundings while a mysterious figure loomed behind him, adding to his anxiety. A new student was surprised when a friendly character greeted him, explaining the unfamiliar rules and promising to repeat them if needed. A stern student advised his new companion about the dormitory rules, highlighting that lights go out at 9 p.m. and the old dormitory building is off-limits. He explained that due to room shortages, male and female students must share rooms and advised caution if paired with a roommate of the opposite sex. He warned them not to let new roommates become pregnant, emphasizing caution in a playful way. He approached the door, feeling eager and lively, while a dark shadow moved beneath him. The boys' dormitory supervisor enjoyed overseeing girls for their safety, though he appeared uncomfortable, noting the other guy seemed doubtful. He was surprised by a note that read, "Hello, new roommate. If cafeteria food isn't to your liking, there are snacks in the drawer. I forgot to introduce myself. Are you eager to see my gorgeous face? Find me soon." He questioned why they should address the F-rank girl, recalling the earlier classroom discussion where she was considered too weak to engage. He teased her about becoming stronger by solving problems independently, while she accused him of cowardice and bullying for doing nothing. He discovered a drawer full of snacks, exclaiming at the quantity and wishing for some cola to accompany them. He confronted her about a mysterious character, stating it wasn't worth the trouble due to its low rank. She insisted on relying on her roommate for snacks after 5 days. Jiang Che reviewed the information interface, considering how each level up increased mystic power and fitness, while reflecting on the accompanying burdens. Jiang Che thought about the exquisitely crafted urn, useful in the mysterious world if inhabited, and learned that understanding mechanisms aids in overcoming challenges. He acquired various items, a butterfly hair clip, a model magazine, a black pen, and a special pass, considering sharing them with his charming roommate. Sitting with a magazine featuring a model, he called out Jiang Che's name, feeling frustrated while pondering his next move. She enthusiastically suggested a walk, holding a special pass permitting students to leave the school, while he questioned the appeal of the outside. He sat on the bed, surprised by her sudden friendliness, while she playfully encouraged him to be more attentive. He assured her they would go out later, but emphasized they needed to address something important first. She curiously inquired about this important matter. He urged her to lower her voice, concerned about disturbing the supervisor, which could lead to serious consequences. Anxiously, he noted she hadn't slept either, surprised by her appearance, as she stood confidently in an alluring outfit. He was surprised by her appearance, noting that she hadn't slept either, and mentioned the unsettling nature of being awake in the middle of the night. He questioned her departure from the supervisor's room, suggesting inappropriate behavior, while she dismissed his speculation and urged him to rein in his imagination. She reassured him that the supervisor wouldn't wake until dawn and invited him to explore the old dormitory with her. He suspected the girl had ulterior motives, believing they could move unnoticed, and decided to keep his distance. He contemplated her intentions, feeling a connection as she encouraged him to join her, which made him reconsider his next move. He chose to trust her when she confidently claimed to have located the dormitory and invited him to follow her. He showed indifference to her warning about the supervisor, while another character strongly advised him to keep distance from her, warning of serious consequences for ignoring the advice. She reflected on how Xiao compelled her to face this challenge, realizing the abandoned dormitory felt disturbingly wrong. She sensed the urgency of deciphering hidden clues in the challenge mission, yet uncertainty about the dormitory's secrets remained. In the dim corridor, two mice scurried across the damp floor, highlighting the eerie atmosphere of the deserted dormitory, which concealed numerous secrets. In the abandoned dormitory, a young man with messy hair stared ahead, sweat trickling down his face, while a girl with long purple hair watched, both aware of the looming danger. She mentioned that she had checked the building and found 6 floors, suggesting they should split up. He listened, concerned about their situation. He reminded her that splitting up is a classic horror movie mistake, implying it could lead to danger. She agreed they should stay close to ensure each other's safety. He always suspected that Yi Qingyao had hidden motives for approaching them, recalling Kukase Kana's warnings about her troubling nature. He stood behind the door while she, with pink hair, read a book, creating a suspicious tension. He peered around the door, contemplating that staying close would allow him to observe her better, while pondering her true intentions. Noticing her hesitation, he suggested they investigate the first floor. She stood confidently, her long purple hair falling gracefully, ready to follow him. As water dripped from the faucet, she glanced back at him, her expression serious and focused, while he stood close, considering their next move. He peered intently at something off-screen, with a serious expression, while a mysterious character loomed in the background, enhancing the tension. Under a cluttered table, he noticed a sneaker and a sharp black-heeled shoe, suggesting an unexpected encounter in the dimly lit area. He expressed frustration about climbing the stairs again, while she led with determination, her pink hair contrasting with the dark surroundings. Feeling relieved, he noted the dorm building had only 6 floors, glancing at the large number 6 against the gloomy backdrop. He warned her to be cautious, sensing something ominous on this floor as she stood close, her dress flowing eerily. Remarking on the unusually clean area, he moved through the eerie corridor with her, her long purple hair flowing behind. In the run-down dormitory, he found it strange that no trash was present, suggesting everything was deliberately hidden. Puzzled, he observed someone approaching with a raised hand, signaling to stop, while he wondered what was wrong. In front of room 614, they felt uneasy. She remarked something felt off, and he confirmed it was the last room. The atmosphere thickened as she looked upwards with determination, while he, nervous and sweating, faced an unseen threat. She smirked confidently, a wicked glint in her eyes, as sinister red liquid flowed ominously, hinting at her dark intentions. He walked with confidence down the corridor, holding her close as red lights flickered overhead. His eyes wide in disbelief, he looked shocked, while she remained serious, both sensing tension in the air. The corridor seemed eerie, with flickering lights and shadows as if something ominous lurked nearby. She urgently warned everyone of impending danger, exclaiming it was a trap and urging them to run. He called out for her to stop as she turned away, her purple hair flowing behind her in the dimly lit space. He noticed her sprinting away, commenting on her speed, while another character noted something was wrong. He saw a mysterious woman floating, unleashing dark energy, with shadowy hands reaching for him, feeling both fear and intrigue. In the eerie corridor, shadowy hands surged forward, creating dread as he gasped, his heart racing. As he stepped forward, his bare foot hovered near the ground, anticipation building with every movement. He declared he would temporarily materialize to block them, urging her to run, questioning her debuff and warning he couldn't hold on much longer. He pondered the mysterious beings on the 6th floor, questioning their purpose and whether it was an ambush. He expressed doubt, suggesting that if an ambush was their goal, they could have attacked in a dead end. Instead, it seemed they aimed to stop them. A massive, dark character loomed ominously, as shadows and tendrils stretched toward the ground, while another character knelt in fear, unsure of the danger ahead. A character in a striking red outfit unleashed purple energy, glowing chains wrapping around her, indicating a powerful transformation or summoning. He shouted, "Kukase kana," as a chilling energy crackled around him, his hand reaching out in confrontation. He gasped in shock as dark tendrils emerged from the character cloaked in red, capturing his attention and filling him with dread. He exclaimed with determination that there was no turning back, vowing not to waste his efforts as the cloaked character loomed behind him. He was suddenly knocked off his feet by a large object, exclaiming in surprise as he felt the impact. He frantically warned a woman, questioning her sanity for entering the building, while she insisted he should have held the enemies off. He urged her to speak, demanding she devise a plan as fear gripped him, desperate not to meet his end with her. He felt her hold him tightly from behind, a mix of fear and fascination stirred by her presence. He and another character watched in surprise as she turned to face the window, her back illuminated, causing disbelief. She looked out the window, her beauty highlighted by the soft light, pondering the phrase that love cannot easily cross mountains and seas. Her thoughts wandered to the saying that the sea has boats for crossing and mountains have trails for traversing. She reflected that this love goes beyond mountains and seas, acknowledging they can be conquered. She mused that while mountains and seas can be overcome, the heart's desires remain elusive. Facing each other, she stood with her hair tied back, while he, dressed stylishly, exuded determination, creating unspoken tension. He questioned if she was a ghost or an NPC, noting her style was unlike others. He received a reminder about needing 10 points to view the starry sky, but the sky was brightening, prompting his frustration to hurry. Jiang Che warned of numerous ghost hands, while a character in a dramatic outfit urged him to escape quickly. He urged the girl to hold on, determination in his voice as he reached for her. Excitement and tension filled him upon receiving the challenge, colorful butterflies surrounding him, indicating unresolved feelings. Confusion and concern surged through him as he wondered where she had gone after assigning the task, blue butterflies dancing around him. She unleashed devastating power, remnants of darkness swirling as chaos erupted, hinting at her fierce determination. He warned her that time was running out and they needed to retreat, shadows reaching out menacingly in the chaos. He told her to hold tight as he confidently swept her into his arms, determination in his eyes amidst the chaos. Fear filled him as she warned him about Kukase kana, her expression fierce, emphasizing the danger she posed. His expression wild and frantic, he screamed loudly, expressing confusion and panic, overwhelmed by the situation. He tilted his head back, overwhelmed by her aura as she summoned dark energy, contrasting with the swirling background. He groaned in wretched vibrant colors while she stood proudly, task finished, an amused smirk on her face. He thought it was more exhilarating than a drop tower, his grin wide. His friend looked worried, offering a handkerchief, and asked if she was all right. She asked why he didn't run with her when she shouted. He joked that he wouldn't have kept up if he had diarrhea. He gazed with contemplation and unease, shadows hinting at tension as he faced the unknown. Standing confidently with flowers, a mysterious woman asked Jiang Che if he had found the clue and unlocked the challenge. He questioned what she would give him if he guessed correctly, while her enigmatic expression was framed by long pink hair. She teased him to end the guessing game, urging him to pack up and sleep. She watched him with an intense gaze as he prepared to leap, twilight adding an ominous tone. He seriously offered $100,000 for a clue, determination in his furrowed brows. Confronting Jiang Che, he insisted they could find clues without insults, demanding €200,000. He grimaced, sweat on his face, questioning if €200,000 was sufficient for their clues. She sighed, her pink hair framing her face, feeling her monthly allowance was insufficient, questioning the other's audacity. He mentioned the clue was in room 614, noting a super artsy, big-breasted cute girl inside, but warned her about the building's tentacled horrors. She confidently stated that if he could escape alive, so could she, showing determination in her stylish outfit. He playfully questioned her participation in the horror challenge if she was going to be timid, noting the last person who mentioned it had recently died. He told her to stop the playful banter, needing rest, and sincerely warned her to reconsider before seeing him tomorrow. She questioned why he hadn't sacrificed him yet, considering the evil spirit inside a minor flaw, reminding him his power was borrowed from her. He reassured her the chance would come soon, reminding him to study the situation, while she questioned his spending on a kid. He stood in the twilight, his red eyes reflecting determination and a hint of sorrow, embodying the weight of his choices. The clock displayed the time, casting shadows across the room, suggesting quiet moments of reflection. He was surprised when he asked the slit-mouthed woman for the time. Learning class would begin in 5 minutes at 8:55. Sitting up in bed, he was shocked and annoyed, questioning why she hadn't woken him up as he realized his tardiness. He smirked as she floated, teasing that she had tried to wake him, but his deep sleep left her helpless. Dashing through the hallway, his backpack bounced as he ran past potted plants, clearly late. Bursting into the room, he shouted "Present," with enthusiasm, his hair disheveled and eyes bright, as he swung the door open. He cheerfully greeted Jiang Che, informing him that Ms. May had spoken to the principal, so they would have self-study for the first period. Wiping away tears, he exclaimed in relief, fearing he might be in trouble this time. Looking around nervously, he clutched his backpack tightly, wondering about the situation. Concerned, he questioned if Qingyao was stuck in the dorms instead of attending class. He realized rumors spread quickly, making it difficult to settle down, while pondering if a girl struggled to move on from a heartbreak. He inquired if he could ask Meili something, showing a puzzled expression. He leaned closer, asking Meili about the girl who once lived in room 614. He advised his friend to avoid digging into room 614's story, warning that too much curiosity could lead to trouble. He noted the difficulty of navigating the eerie online realm, humorously mentioning his meme skills. He wore a stylish kimono with intricate floral patterns, exuding confidence as he prepared for an important meeting. His eyes widened in shock, showing fierce determination, with the kanji for determination prominently displayed. As she walked confidently, he felt her intense gaze and questioned if he had crossed a line. Grinning wildly, he leaned closer, asking if there were any more questions. He shouted in frustration, demanding the persistent poking stop, panicking about what to do next. He admired her as she balanced a stack of books, noticing a hint of surprise in her eyes. He warned his classmates to stop staring at him, threatening them if they continued as the teacher arrived. The group, wearing emotionless masks, stared with intensity, readying themselves for the upcoming task. Entering the classroom, the group felt both excitement and apprehension, with the sign above urging them to give their best effort for the challenges ahead. A student greeted the teacher with a polite, "Good morning, teacher," as classmates sat silently at their desks. He expressed frustration, reminding them everyone has faked illness, missed classes, and gotten in trouble, challenging their doubts about his capabilities. She announced everyone performed exceptionally, and the principal praised their class. As a reward, they would have a hands-on experiment session. He questioned how even eerie phenomena were now connected to science, pondering the unstable state of human civilization. She held a glowing green potion, hinting at its importance, while curiosity surrounded her. Standing confidently with a glowing green potion, she called for eager students to assist on experiment day, while a boy nearby felt uneasy. Holding a green flask, she smiled, recounting how a student led the class in greeting the teacher and mentioned the class representative would assist her. She instructed her students to try the green flask first and then share their opinions while standing in front of a chalkboard covered in notes. He commented nervously, mentioning the green drink looked toxic, as he watched his friend drink it confidently, amused by his role as class leader. He accidentally knocked over the glass flask, causing it to break, standing there with surprise and concern. He stuttered nervously to a girl, aware he needed to report something important, while tentacles dripped from his face, adding to his awkwardness. He stood in confusion and disgust as gooey tentacles dripped from his face, noting flavors he couldn't quite identify: sour, sweet, and salty. She smiled, commenting on the unique sweet and sour flavor, suggesting adjustments for a better taste. She playfully asked the student if he would take a quick sip and share his thoughts, noticing his nervousness. He held a glowing green potion, his face reflecting worry, with an ominous red character above signifying danger. He carefully held a flask containing a glowing green liquid, its swirling vapor highlighted by the words, BRR, above. He held a flask of bubbling green liquid, sweating as someone urged him to drink it. She expressed disbelief, her glasses catching the light as chaos unfolded around her. He joked about the teacher's unexpected revelation, holding a strange, glowing potion. Commenting on the glowing green potion, he said that giving it to him seemed like a waste. He noted the potion's strong scent and questioned Zhang's suggestion to drink it, worried for their classmates. He suggested giving the potion to a classmate who seemed eager to have it. He hesitated, uncertain, while she stood confused, her glasses slipping, surrounded by neon lights. With a confident smile, she suggested everyone should learn from Jiang Che, highlighting mutual respect as important. He entered the classroom, covered in green goo, as the teacher instructed everyone to resume their seats. Rushing into the cafeteria, he expressed his desperation to eat, craving rice, noodles, and buns. Startled, he exclaimed, gripping his arm and feeling both anxious and excited. He notices his classmates slumped over their desks and sees the chaos reflected in his own anxious expression. Standing with a serious demeanor, he recalls her words about survival, emphasizing that one can endure on water alone, while his classmates listen intently. He comments on the cafeteria food, suggesting that if someone can't eat it, they should starve, causing concern among his classmates. He remarks that she seems cheerful, unlike those suffering from hunger, and shares that he has experienced hunger since childhood. He expresses frustration, noting that she claims surviving 5 days won't affect one's mental state, while he feels overwhelmed by the world's dangers. He tells her that fearing cafeteria meals indicates a lack of courage and questions the unusual taste of what he just tried, suggesting it might be human intestine sashimi. He chuckles, agreeing that tonight marks the second day, and says he'll leave first, addressing Xiang as he exits. He mentions that Xiang feels grumpy due to hunger and suggests they chat while offering to grab food together. He sighs, missing his mother's dark cuisine and comparing it to mooncakes with bullfrogs as they walk past a screen in the cafeteria. He frowns, realizing they can't rely on the foolish ones. She smirks, proposing they discuss something else. He acknowledges her strength and suggests deeper cooperation. He advised her to be careful, sensing danger in the shadows, while she contemplated in darkness. She demanded silence, leaving him puzzled by her commanding presence and bold clothing. With bright pink hair, she teased him about not wanting to be a live-in son-in-law, as he insisted on silence. He suggested discussing it later, while she joked about his lack of interest in the 200,000 euros, which baffled him since he only craved bubble milk. She agreed reluctantly, realizing the necessity of relying on their own skills moving forward. She observed him, understanding their need for self-reliance, as he adjusted his shirt, indicating a change in their partnership. Walking beside her, he noticed people's shocked stares at her nearly distorted features. He thought it wise to avoid her intimidating presence, as she stood confidently, her appearance unsettling others. He pondered Yi Qingyao's hostility toward him, believing himself to be handsome. He questioned the teacher's leniency, allowing her to skip class without consequences. She was surprised at his willingness to heed her advice and urged him to start their investigation. He noted the challenge showed little progress and found it more difficult than the Huangguang hospital, pondering other approaches while the headless woman observed. He discovered a hidden function allowing him to draw abilities, reflecting on his unfulfilled promise to Xiao Man. He told Xiao Man they wouldn't investigate today and suggested doing something else, while she responded with a curious HMM. He reminded her of his promise to take her for a walk outside the school and urged her to go. The sky was a mix of dark blues and purples, with the sun partially hidden behind clouds. A stormy mix of dark blues and purples filled the sky, with glowing text marking the academy's entrance. A character exclaimed he felt a cold breeze between his legs, while another laughed, adding tension. Amid tense humor, a character shouted he couldn't stop laughing, as another insisted he needed protection outside the mission. She assured him, declaring her life was intertwined with his, emphasizing her reliability as a big sister. He nervously asked her about the mysterious coins, questioning why she was concerned about him having money and feeling the weight of her disdain. She insisted angrily that he should stop with the nonsense, promising to repay double later, while he defensively shouted about not wanting her to touch him. In disbelief, he questioned why an older woman would keep money in her underwear, as a motorcycle will skidded dangerously close, kicking up dust. Surprised, he thought aloud about the taxi driver after noticing a mysterious woman in a striking outfit, her presence both captivating and intriguing. She sat confidently on a Ducati motorcycle, dressed alluringly, exuding mystery and elegance in the urban environment. He expressed shock and frustration, wondering why it had to be her, his face revealing disbelief and anger. She gazed intensely, her expression a mix of sadness and resignation, with the dark surroundings enhancing her haunting beauty and enigmatic aura. He asked if she had changed her sexual orientation, reflecting on how he had imagined their reunion in countless ways, never expecting it to happen like this. As she rode confidently on her motorbike, he admired her skill and freedom, captivated by the breathtaking sunset reflecting off her helmet. Smiling, he commented on the coincidence of their meeting and asked if she was out for a ride, also mentioning needing digestive medicine after eating too much human flesh. He glanced around nervously, sweat forming on his brow, surrounded by symbols suggesting confusion or surprise. He coughed, apologized for past actions, and expressed gratitude, noting the usefulness of the scissors. She glared ahead with a fierce expression, her red helmet displaying awry, preparing for action with determination. The motorcycle roared to life, accelerating sharply as the rider firmly gripped the handlebars. She pointed at him urgently, catching him off guard with her intense command to get down. She accused him of skillfully using her scissors yet forgetting her, while he responded in surprise, feeling unresolved tension. She confronted him about the days she waited at home during meals and baths, shouting, "You beast!" He panicked, realizing he hadn't given her his address, exclaiming, "Wait, you didn't tell me your address, did you?" She remained silent, her expression intense and contemplative, suggesting unresolved emotions with the dark forest behind her. She appeared fierce, with slight blood on her lips, stating she would let him go this time, but he, confused, questioned her meaning. They arrived in an enigmatic realm, one character marveling at its wonders while the other expressed disbelief, saying he never imagined such a place existed. One character questioned the other about a suspicious bank, emphasizing it was the only trading firm in the mysterious world and urging him to hurry inside. He glanced back at her, sensing the tension as her intense gaze seemed to pierce through him. She remarked that despite their origins as little slit-mouthed beings, they were capable of feelings, but noted they couldn't coexist or marry. She emphasized that their identity as slit-mouthed women didn't define them, instead, they were profound mysteries. Riding a sleek red motorcycle, one character asked for the other's name, who confidently introduced himself as Jiang Che. A character with long white hair held a hairpin, contemplating, as thoughts of Jiang Che occupied his mind. Smirking, a character with long white hair sat on a motorcycle, suggesting this might be their last meeting and offered a keepsake as a farewell. A character with dark hair thoughtfully observed someone, responding with a subtle smile, implying understanding in the quiet moment. On a motorcycle, a character took a sharp turn, reflecting that this maneuver could be crucial for survival in critical moments. A character expertly navigates a bend on their motorcycle, leaving a smoky trail that highlights the speed of the maneuver. He advises to keep the hairpin secure and not to lose it. Nervously, he introduces the Heaven and Earth trading firm. Eagerly, he inquires about the service she needs, hands clasped, with an expectant air. He questions her humanity, wondering if she might be a challenger. A man on the floor apologizes for the confusion and urges her not to blame him. He contemplates whether the caretaker uniform adds to his mystery, feeling trapped in another's challenge scenario while his resurrection count stays the same. He encourages the other boy to stand, who nervously stutters a thank you. Amidst the chaos, he reaches out with intensity, surrounded by swirling crimson as tension rises. A frustrated man in a suit stands over someone on the floor, scolding them for not welcoming guests properly. He reacts with a puzzled expression to a mysterious sound, his face showing grotesque damage. With a sly smile, he comments to the gentleman about his condition, suggesting a deeper, unsettling situation. He wondered if the strong human scent was due to excessive kidney energy revealing his presence. The character's wrinkled face suggested hidden intentions as shadows hinted at ominous plans. With a mischievous grin, he asked if the strange object was really a dog's nose, while the other character, with scars on his face, seemed intrigued by the unusual scent. He urgently questioned Xiao Man about their next steps, showing determination and concern. He assured Xiao Man not to worry, promising to handle the situation as magical energy swirled around them. He told her to relax and let him take control as magical energy surrounded their hands. He teasingly commented on her misleading words, while she playfully wrapped her arms around him, drawing him closer with swirling energy. With a puzzled expression, he touched his disfigured face, the remnants of injury visible as ethereal energy swirled around him, reflecting his confusion. She confronted someone with fierce intensity, exclaiming, "How dare you," as a dark aura swirled around her, highlighting her fierce expression. With determination, she challenged someone, demanding if they truly dared to question her in a moment charged with energy. With a defiant glare, he announced his power to the merchants of the world, brandishing a chain as a symbol. She questioned the treatment of VIP customers, demanding respect with confidence. He extended his hand, swirling with energy, and whispered in disbelief, his face marked by a scar. Her eyes widened in alarm as she revealed the code and password, her voice trembling. Surprise filled her eyes as she recognized him, confusion and recognition evident in the atmosphere. With a confident smirk, he urged her to fulfill his request. She, glowing with power, stayed focused. She sat back on the couch with a sly expression, wearing a heart-printed outfit. He, dressed formally, curiously asked what was wrong. He was curious about the situation. She playfully questioned if he thought she was a rich lady, while another character noted a past agreement. Apologizing sincerely for earlier, he presented her with a mysterious package, which she regarded with curiosity. He bowed slightly, assuring her she had what she wanted and promised not to bother her further, while two others watched closely. As the door opened, anticipation filled the air, indicating that an unexpected event was imminent. The spirit, dressed in a vibrant kimono, lamented her lost beauty, while a boy, frustrated, held his head in despair. He announced, excitedly, that someone had found his head which fell from the stars, claiming its beauty was indescribable. Puzzled, he observed the box as dark smoke emanated from where his head should be, curious about its mystery. With confusion, he questioned the whereabouts of his beautiful head, as dark smoke enveloped him, suggesting a mysterious change. Surprised, he expressed confusion, wondering about the box's contents as he examined its empty inside. Calling out to Xiaoman, he was surprised to see her crying, anxiously noting the situation. He told Xiaoman not to cry, suggesting her lost item might still be found, admitting his difficulty in comforting women. Reflecting on the box he had given, now returned empty, he realized the task was likely abandoned and thought the issue wasn't about money. He questioned, realizing it was never about the money, as a dark mass ominously hovered above the character. He stopped, appearing worried, and asked about the cost, sweat forming on his forehead. He expressed disbelief at the billion-dollar cost, while she sat confidently, her attire suggesting affluence. She stated money was futile in restoring her beautiful head, seated elegantly in a luxurious setting. He proposed they leave, offering all his money, while she stood, draped in shadows, hinting at mystery. Xiaoman expressed concern, questioning his potential rash decision, as a mysterious character in red loomed nearby. Xiaoman comforted a friend, reminding him of the promise to restore his confidence. A figure in red asserted, "Your problem is my problem." He vowed to ensure the person who broke his promise returned all the money, declaring it was worth $1 billion. He gripped the fabric tightly, showing changing favorability ratings, +3, +1, +3, indicating shifting relationships. Gratefully, he hugged her, and the favorability rating reached 70, surrounded by symbols of a growing bond. He reassured her confidently, giving a thumbs up while she stood beside him, a headless figure in a mysterious setting. He frowned, startled by an unexpected event, feeling a need to act quickly as the situation changed. He looked intently at the glowing symbols and patterns, sensing imminent power. He noticed the text stating, "Name, Headless Insure, Xiaoman, favorability requirement met, you've earned a draw." His face showed both relief and surprise.